My presentation today will cover both the Land Reform Bill and the Wildlife Management and Muirburn Scotland Bills. I aim to provide you with some background to how this new proposed legislation has come about, and also hope to provide you with an outline of the main provisions to be aware of, and which are likely to affect your clients in the rural sector and as such us as their advisors. Obviously, I can only comment on the draft legislation as it stands at the moment, noting that as per usual practice, we would expect to see some further changes being made to the legislation, or the draft I should say, as it makes its way through the various processes at the Scottish Parliament and the various legislative stages. Thought it would be useful, as we are speaking about large-scale holdings and the concern that the Scottish Government has about large-scale holdings and concentration of ownership, to have a look at some of the actual statistics. As I said, in the links provided in the notes at the end, there are some more detailed provisions, but I thought these particular statistics would be good to have a look at. So, let's have a look at this. The total land area of Scotland is 8,023,947 hectares. Grasses and rough grazings account for 67% of that area, roughly. Forestry and woodland, 17%. Urban development, 8%. Crops and fallow land, 7%. And other agricultural land, 2%. According to some of the estimates that we have access to, we understand that 432 families own half the private land in Scotland, and just over 1,200 landowners own 2/3 of Scotland's land. That's obviously quite an interesting statistic and goes to the concentration of land ownership in Scotland. The government believes that about 57% of rural land is currently in private hands, with only about 12.5% owned by public bodies, 3% under community ownership, and about 2.5% owned by charities and other third sector organisations. The remainder is thought to be owned by smaller estates and farms, which are not recorded in the main figures. So talking about large ownership, who owns most of the land in Scotland? Well, at the moment, Danish entrepreneur Anders Fogh Poulsen owns 220,000 acres of land in Scotland, and he has been named as the country's richest person and the largest private landowner in Scotland at the moment. Now, 220,000 acres obviously is a huge area of land. But if we do look at that in relation to the overall hectareage of Scotland, we have to ask the question if indeed it is actually such a large proportion of it.